Good morning, fellow traders. Paul here. It's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Friday, July 31st, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. All right, well, let's check see where we left off of the market yesterday. So SPX monthly chart green. Today's the last day of the month, so let's see if they can keep it green. It would take a lot of work to get it down, but it's not saying that the bears don't want to. So they've definitely been hiding up in this gap up here on the weekly chart. So inside week so far, so it could be interesting really going into next week. If we keep an inside week, wow, we'll have to really keep an eye on that, right? Because if we push above that, then we definitely could get going here to the upside. There's a good chance for that one. And of course, a break to the downside might retest a couple of these levels, possibly even come back to the prior inside week high, and possibly even retest the 30-weekly moving average. So kind of a really key area right here. So very interesting going into this week. And again, you can see here that inside week here is representative of the trend box that we're in right now, right? We're in the chop zone right now. So we had a big buy the dip yesterday off the trend box low, but we couldn't get back over the UTL. With the Big Four reporting strong earnings yesterday, you'd think they'd be able to try to push it up above here today, but the futures are kind of a little bit sketchy this morning because, well, Asia's down, right? The worst GP ever, right? Pandemic, all that stuff. So it makes it a little bit, it's still weighing kind of heavy on it, right? I mean, as much exuberance as you want off of the big tech names, I mean, the whole market really needs to participate, right? We're seeing some weakness in the banks a little bit yesterday. Oil kind of breaking down a little bit, and then a lot of strength in gold, so that's kind of interesting too. So, but anyway, increased volume yesterday on that buy the dip on the SPY. It's kind of working on maybe this this flag type pattern going in today. We did have a big dip buy yesterday, right? So just kind of keep an eye on this here going into today. See if that we can break out of here and give us a nice push out of the open. A measured move up would be pretty incredible on SPY. That would definitely change the overall sentiment on that. S&P futures, of course, overnight. Hit a fresh signal zone for us. We actually did from around yesterday's initial morning high, right? We found a little resistance of the 1.618 extension, and then the 2.618 was last night, which also ran into one of our signal zones. So you can see here we've got a big bull flag on the ES as well, right? So the MES too. So obviously we're going to be tracking this one too. So we've got this trend line right here, which could be interesting going into today, and of course our bull flag that we mentioned a little bit earlier. So getting kind of tight here. Let's see if we can break out to the upside. A break to the downside could test this congestion right here. So we'll see how that goes going into this morning. So the Q's kind of hanging in there a little bit better, right? Still holding their gap from yesterday. So this is kind of a big area for it here this morning. I'd like to see it get over the highs from last night and try to give a push so we can get some leadership out of the Q's, and that could drag the market, right? So such high weighting on names like Apple, Amazon, Google, and Facebook overall on the market that things could kind of get going with that one. The IWM not really having fun this morning, so it's gapping down here, so not really participating with the big cap name, so imagine that. But let's take a look. So big Apple, of course, on the radar. It's holding its gap really nicely this morning. It's I believe we got a bunch of upgrades across the board. Price targets raised, et cetera. Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, all that stuff. So it's hanging in there pretty well. We'll see if there's a lot of profit taking at the open, or if we can get above this 109.60 level right now at the open with a strong opening candle. Maybe we can get a gap and go this morning on an Apple. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Let's take a look at Tesla. So it's not really a lot of activity here this morning. It's kind of chopping around. We have a prior inside day high that it might want to try to get into that area on that one. Other than that, let's take a look at just a few other ones right here. So we've got Amazon, of course, had earnings yesterday. That has pulled back a lot. So I'm not really looking at this one for the big gap and go this morning. It's got a huge range to get above, and they don't seem to be too excited about it today. Facebook does have a chance. We're pretty close to all-time highs, but we really got to get over this 254 level, and they're not really pushing that one either. Apple is so far looking the best this morning in terms of holding up after the earnings. Right, Google had a big push down after yesterday. I mean, they had good earnings, but they're kind of had some weird guidance of their conference call. So we're seeing it actually gap down a little bit this morning. That's why I don't even mess with Google anymore. But I put it up here because it's one of the big four that reported. So, and it's still highly weighted on the market, but tough one to trade. Pins reporting this morning, so keep an eye on that one too. Another name in the industrial name, Caterpillar, has a beat. I mean, it's so amazing to see these companies all beating, right? So, but really right here we're at the 145 pre-market. So that's good, right? If we can stay above those levels, that's fantastic. But we still have a lot of resistance levels right here that we need to get above, and that 145 is at the bottom of that range. So if they don't push this thing, we might see a reversal on Caterpillar this morning. So definitely keep an eye on that. And then EA, kind of a cool one right here. So this was a little bit of a move up after hours. So let's see if they get some follow through in its cohort ATVI. could be interesting too. That has earnings coming up as well. So good stuff, guys. I hope you guys found that helpful. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Friday. We'll catch you guys in the lunchtime market update. And until then, stay healthy out there. Remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.